Okay, so in today's class, we will be learning two topics. So first is concept of nesting. Okay, so this nesting concept we have already discussed. Now we will discuss conditional statements. So what is the application of nesting? Just give me one. So what is of nesting? Okay, so before going to learn anything, we should know what means what is the need of that means what problem we face. After that we need to use this nesting concept. Okay, so the problem was, suppose that if you have some record. Okay, so in that record may be like this. So suppose that you have employee details. Okay, and suppose that you want to store this as a dictionary, and you have first name means you have employee name. Okay, and you have employee salary, and suppose that you have age. So and name can be, suppose that first name, last name. And salary can be like this, form, and then either it is fixed or variable. So this type of data you cannot store using a simple dictionary. Suppose that if we use, there are two ways. Either you can use first name, okay, and then you will write here, suppose that Anand, and then suppose that you are writing last name, and then Kumar, and then you can write salary. You can write here 300. Then you can write salary type. Either it is fixed, so you can write fixed, or you may write variable. Okay. Next thing is age. You can write 14. Okay. So this is one of the way you can store this data. Okay. But what is problem here? Suppose that means first problem here is that this is not a really nice way of storing the data, because uh, because what is the problem here is, suppose that in future we want to add a new field in the salary. Then what we need to do here is, first we need to add that into the employee details. So that will be a key to again a key to an employee details. So that is not a good way. We want that every component of salary should be present in only one, as a only one value. Okay, so that is the problem. Okay. Now, so a different way can be, you will write here name, okay, and then you will write here first name, and then here you will write Anand, suppose that Anand, and then second name you can write here Kumar. Okay, and then you can write salary, and in this salary again you are writing amount 3000, suppose that, and then here you can write salary, then type salary type. Okay, so you can write here fixed. Next you can add here age. So this dictionary here is basically what? It is representing the same data. Okay, it is representing the same data but in a different manner. Okay, and this manner is more understandable and more relevant. Why? Because every component related to values are basically in the exact place where it should be. Okay, so that's why we use nesting. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, so why this is called as nesting? Because you can see that the elements of this dictionary is again a dictionary. So this whole, if you copy, this is a dictionary. So that's why this is called as nesting. So nesting will always, now the concept of nesting is what means, if the element of any data type is the same data type, it is called as nesting. Now we will see how can we extract the records. So if we use this, then the rule will be very simple. Okay. So suppose that I am giving the different name, employee details 1 and then employee details 2. Okay. And in the employee details 1, if we want to fetch this first name, how can we do? We will simply write here print, and then can anybody guess? If we want to get first name, then what can we use? So we will write employee details and the key value. So key name. So what is the key name? First name. So we will pass here first name. Now if you print, you will get what? You can see that is printing you Anand. Okay. Similarly, if you want to get salary, then we will write what? Employee details 1 and then salary. Okay. So if you run this program, so you will get here Anand and salary is 3000. Next is, suppose that if we want to get the first name from this employee details to dictionary, then how can we write? So firstly, the rule will be what? Firstly, you will write print and then employee details to, and first you can see that this first name is present in the keyword name. Name is the key for that. So firstly, you will write here name. So firstly, just print this. Okay, then what will you get? You can see that you will get again a dictionary. First name Anand and second name Kumar. Okay. So this is again a dictionary. So how can we get the value of any? Means how can we get the value of first name? So we will write here. So output of this is again a dictionary. Then because this is a dictionary, then we can again write a key name here and we can get the value of this. You can see that printing on. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So I'm giving you both the examples so that firstly you see here you are getting a dictionary. Okay. So this is good. I mean, if you write simply employee details to name, so you will get the dictionary that contains the first name and second name. Now the rule will be same. So if we have this dictionary, then if we want to get the first name, then what we will write? We will write the name of the dictionary, and then we will write here the key name first name. So we are doing the same thing. So it will return a dictionary, and so this, just consider this as a dictionary. Okay, and then we are writing the key name first name so that we will get the Anand. Similarly, you can write here what? Last name. Okay. So it is telling this is not a key, so second name is the key, last name. You are getting Kumar. So this is the way how we handle the how can we handle the nesting in case of dictionary. Okay. Similarly, nesting can be also done in case of what? In case of list. So I am giving you the example of list nesting. Suppose that we have mm, suppose that we have suppose that we have means a tournament game. Okay, a tournament game, and in this tournament game, we have data. Means every team, not every team. Suppose that this tournament game has occurred 10 times. Okay, and for every times we have some winner list. Okay, so the suppose that we have players like player 1, player 2, okay, and then we have player 3, dot up to suppose that player 100. So we have 100 players in this game. Okay, and this game is tournament based, and we have 3 rounds. How many rounds? We have 3 rounds. So now for first round we want to, and we have 3 rounds. Okay, so means not 3 rounds, 3 days, and 3 days, and every day we have 10 rounds. So for every round we want to store the player who was the winner. Suppose that first winner was player 1. Okay, and then the winner was, suppose that, player 3. Okay. Similarly, I'm not mentioning the, now suppose that for this is for first day, and this is for second day, and this is for third day. So now suppose that second day winner was player 4, and then next was player 5. Next suppose that third day again the winner was player 1, and suppose that player 4. So this is the, again this is the example of nesting. Okay, you can see that this tournament game is a list, and the elements of this list are again what? Again a list. Now, if you want to get who, if you want to get means which players means result of day one, then we can simply write tournament game 0. And you will get here player 1, player 1, and player 3. Now, if you want to check means every day it was, suppose that means run only 2 times. Currently we have only 2 elements, so we are considering every day means game was occurred for 2 times. So the first means in the first day we have means player 1 and player 3 as winner. Now we want to get for the first day who was the winner in the second round. Then what we will do here, we will write here 1. So now we can print here winner in the game for second round of first Okay, first day. Now it is printing player 3. Is this clear to you or not? Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now, if I ask you, if we want to find who was the winner, means who was the winner in the second day of first round, can you the answer? What can we write here? Means writing winner in the game for first round of second day. Okay. So what we need to write here? Can you guess? Somebody has answered, I think. You are telling player 4. Yeah, player 4, but how can we get that? Means what we need to write here? 1 0. Yes, correct. So we will write here what? 1 0. Okay. So by writing 1, we will get this list, and in this list, player 4 is the position of 0 index. So that's why we are writing tournament game 1 0. So now I think next thing is means now you can deal with nesting. Okay, so just I am giving you one more example of nesting. So suppose that we have employees details. Okay, and in this employee details is a list. Okay, employee details is a list, and in this list suppose that we have again a dictionary like this. First name. Okay, and then age is suppose that 40. Okay, now we have more than one employee here. So first we have first name Anand, and for the next employee we have our first name suppose that Nal. Okay, and then first name suppose that we have Sami. So now this is again a nesting example. So what is this? This is a list. Okay, why this is a list? Because it is written inside a big bracket, and now every element of this list is a dictionary. You can see that this is a dictionary, this is a dictionary, so this is a dictionary, again this is a dictionary. Now we want to get now suppose that we want to get the first name of second employee, then how can we get? So firstly we will write here in we want to get the first name of second employee, then we will write here employee details, and then first we will write here 1, and then this employee details 1 is equivalent of this dictionary. Now this is again a dictionary. So what we will do here, if you want to get the first name, then we will write here first name. If you print, so it is telling that first name is not present. You are getting Kunal. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes.
So this nesting is completed. Now you can work with the nesting. Okay. And this basically, I will give you assignment today. Okay, and now you can work with all the data type that we have completed. So here, all the data types and means nesting and their applications has been completed. So now we will go to the part conditional statements. Okay. So before going to conditional statement, I just want to ask you one question. Suppose that you have to decide based on some condition who is the winner. Or suppose that you have a question like means check that this is an even number or odd number. Okay. So how can you do that? Means you may have means if somebody asks you how can you calculate this is an even number or an odd number, so you will perform some calculation. Firstly you will have a number and you will check something. So based on the condition you need to print different output. Like suppose that if this is an even number, then you will print what, um, yeah, this is an even number. And for if this is not an even number, then you will print this is an odd number. So this type of task you cannot do without using conditional statement. Okay, the only way here is you need to use conditional statement. So what is conditional statement? Conditional statements are used to perform different actions based on different conditions. Okay, this is very basic concept, and means you will use this conditional statement in lots of your program. And so now we I am giving you a very simple example of how conditional statement is work in Python. So suppose that we have two variables here, a and b. Okay, and we have written a condition here. If a less than b, then print a is less than b. Else print a is greater than b. So suppose that this program is equivalent of what? Finding between two number which number is greater. Okay, so suppose that we are taking two values from user a and b value, and we want to show which one is greater. So for which this type of program we can do using the conditional statement. So I am giving you the example of this. Suppose suppose that we have a is equal to input, and then please enter first number. Okay, we are taking two values from the user, int and input, please enter first number, and then b is equal to int and then input, please enter second number. Okay, so now we have two numbers a and b that we are taking from the user. Okay, so now we want to write a program to show which number is greater. So how can we do that? So we will use here conditional statement. So the rule is first you need to write if and then the condition. Suppose that we are writing if a less than b, then print what? A is less than b, and then else what? Print what? A is greater than b. Or this is not an exact message that we want to print. First number and second number which would use. So we will write here not a, we will write here first number, because user is entering first and number and second number, then the output should be related to that. So we will write here if first number less than second number, then print first number is less than second number. And then else what we need to do, we will write here print first number is greater than second number. Okay, now run your program. So it will ask you please enter first number. Suppose that we are entering 5. Next we are entering 8. Okay, first number is 5 and second number is 8. So it is printing first number is less than second number. So this type of program can be done using if else only. So this if else are called as conditional statements. Okay. So the rule is what? First we have some condition. We need to write here first if is a keyword, and then we need to have some condition. If this condition is true, then this is called as the block of if. Okay, this is if block and this is else block. If this condition is true, then the if block will be executed, otherwise else block will be executed. So the same thing we were doing in our program. So this is if block and this is else block, and if this condition is true, then if block will be executed and the remaining part will be not executed. Okay, is clear everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now suppose that we want to write a program to find a number is even or odd. So how can we do that? Firstly, we need to take an input from the user. Suppose that we have a number that we are taking from user. So we write here in please enter a number. Okay. Now we need to check. We will write here if number any number is odd when any number is even when if num percent 2 is equal to 0. What is the meaning of num percent 2? This percent operator is basically used to find a remainder. If we divide the number by 2 and the remainder is 0, then we will call that print this is an even number. Okay. Otherwise what? This is an odd number. The program is very simple. So first we need to write int and then input. We have missing input here. They are asking please enter a number. Suppose that we are writing 577. So this is an odd number. So it is printing you this is an odd number. It is clear everyone?
Yes, sir.
Next, suppose that we want to write a program. Suppose that we have a mini school database. Suppose that we have a mini school database, and in this database we have students DB. Okay, this is student DB, and in this student DB, suppose that we have IDs of a student, and with these IDs we have the information first name. Okay, first name is what? Suppose that Anand. Okay, and then suppose that we have batch. Suppose that we have batch name as C. Okay, or you can better say that section. Suppose that section is C. So this is our student DB. So every student has a roll number, and we are writing like this. Suppose that first roll number is 123, next roll number is 123, 124, next is 125. Okay, and this is suppose that this is Farah. Okay. Now we want to write a program to check whether student is present in this DB or not. So how can we do that? So we will write here. Firstly, we need to, how can we find any student is present here or not? Only way is what? We need to first know their roll number. If the roll number we know, then we can find, yeah, this is present in this dictionary. So we'll write here roll number is equal to input, and then please enter the roll number. Now we will have the roll number. Then what can we do with this roll number? We will check if what? If roll number in dictionary dot keys. I have previously told you dictionary has a method keys. Okay, dictionary has a method key that will, or you can simply write this program. So there is different way of completing this program also, but I am just giving you. Mm. So suppose that we want to get the section of the, we want to write a program to get the section of the student based on roll number. So how can we do that? First we will check if roll number in student db dot keys. So dot keys method I have previously taught you in the last class. It will give you all the roll numbers or all the keys that are present in this dictionary. So we are simply writing if roll number in all the keys. Okay, this program is equivalent of this. So student student is present in database. Okay, and next we will print here, print section of student is, section of student is. Now we can write here student db dot get what? Student db dot get, we will pass here the roll number. Okay, and then it will return you what? It will return you a dictionary. So in this dictionary you will have first name and section. So if you want to get the section, then you will write here dot get and then the section value. Else what you will print, and then you will write here student is not present in the database. Okay. Now run this program. We know that 1, 2, 3 student is present. It will print student is present in database and the section of student is C. So every section is C. So to I'm just changing some section. Suppose that this is D. Now run again your program, and this time try to enter 252. Then it will show you what? Student is not present in this database. Okay, is this clear everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now if I ask you, okay, Now if I ask you, if I want to get the first name, then how can we do this program? So simply we need to write here what? Student db dot get roll number. So based on this roll number we will get this whole dictionary. And if we want to get the first name, then we will write here, instead of section we will write here first name. Okay, so why we are writing this first name? Because the first name is the key. Okay, so now you can run your program. Suppose that this time we are passing here 1, 2, 3. So the name of the first name is, in this case, the first name is Anand. So it should print Anand. So student is present in database, and section of, currently it is printing section of student. So you can just replace this by first name. First name of student is this. 1, 2, 3. Now it will print first name of a student is Anand. So this is the application of conditional statements. Now you can practice with the conditional statements. So I have created a simple flow chart here. So that will show here how the if else basically works. So firstly your program will start and it will check for the test condition. If test condition is true, then it will do what? It will calculate the body of if. Otherwise, it will execute the body of else, and then the program will terminate it. I can see the flow of the program. Firstly, it will evaluate if A less than B. Then, if this condition is true, okay, this condition is basically true, then it will print you A is less than B. Okay, then the flow of program will be end. Second, suppose that if this condition is false, then what will happen? In this case, first is A is equal to 2 and B is equal to 1. Now A less than B is false because A is greater than 2. A is greater than B. Now what will happen? Firstly, it will check if A less than B, it is false. Okay, then it will go to the else block directly and will print you A is less than B. I also have a video. I have a video for that. We have missed it. Okay. So okay, okay. So I think it is clear to you. Now I am giving you the example of conditional statements where we have more than one condition. So now what is the importance of the conditional statements where we have more than one condition? Okay, suppose that we want to check we want to check means how two numbers are related. So what is the possible outcome if we are comparing two numbers? What can be a outcome? Two numbers can be equal, or one number can be less than of second number, or one number can be greater than of second number. So there are three outcomes. Okay, there are three conditions here. Okay, so these three conditions you cannot do by using a single if else block, because single if else block can only work with a single condition. If we have more than one condition, then we need to use more than one if else block. So for using that, I am just giving you a program. Compare two numbers. Okay, now what will you do? Suppose that you have two numbers, A is equal to, suppose that 3, or suppose that this number we are taking from the user. So we are just writing, suppose that we are taking this from the user. Now we have two numbers, first number and second number. There are three conditions here. Either, what are the conditions here? First is, first number can be less than second number. So then in this case we will show the message first number is less than second number. Next we have second case also. Here we will have first number will greater than second number. In this case we will show the user that first number is greater than second number. Now we have third case where these two numbers are equal. In this case we need to show the user that first number is equal to second number. Now this program you cannot do using a single if else. Okay, so if you want to complete this program, then you need to use more than one if else. So how can we do in this type of case? How can we means work with this type of case? So we will use a if else block. If we have if, it is similar to what I have already taught you. Then we have elif and then else. So first you will write if, then condition 1, then the block of if, then you will write elif, then condition 2, then the block that you want to execute, and then else. If these two conditions will be not true, then this block will be evaluated. So first program will flow. First, the program will flow like this. So firstly, program will enter this block and then it will check if this condition is true. If this condition is not true, then it will check this condition. What will happen if this condition is true? Then it will execute this block and the program will be terminated. Okay. But if this condition is not true, then it will check this condition. If this condition is true, then program will evaluate this body of this and then the program will terminate. If this condition is again not true, then it will check, then it will not check, because in the else we don't have any condition. It will always evaluate this block if these two conditions are not true. Okay, now you can see that. So we will write here if and then first number less than what? Second number. Then print here what? First number is less than second number. And then you will write here if first number greater than second number, then print what? First number is greater than second number. Else you will write here what? First number is equal to you can see that for equal to we are not checking any condition. If these two conditions are false, then definitely both number are equal. If first number is not less than or greater than second number, it means what? They are equal. Okay, if you run this program and suppose that we are passing here 5 and then 4, then it will print first number is greater than second number. Now if we pass here 3 and then 3, then it will print first number is equal to second number. And now you can see also how this program is following, how this program is running. Then you can check this. Suppose that we are entering first number 5 and then second number we are entering 4. Now you can see that firstly it is checking first number is less than second number. This condition is what? False. Checking this condition. This condition is true. Now it is evaluating this line, and after evaluating this line, this block will be terminated. Program will be terminated. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all for today. If you have any doubt, you can ask.